afternoon, and thank you very much for joining our 30-minute session today, which will introduce who we are, what we do, and how the Engineering Skills College works in partnership with employers like yourselves and apprentices in developing the next generation of engineering and technical professionals. So just before we begin, and you can probably see that we are recording, but this is just purely for quality purposes. So if anyone does have an issue, you are more than welcome to obviously leave the webinar. Also, we'll be taking questions at the end of the webinar, so please submit through the chat. Okay, so pressing ahead, I'm Shana and I'm Head of Apprenticeships for the Engineering Skills College. So to begin, who are we? So we're the Engineering Skills College and we form a sub-pillar of the London Design and Engineering UTC. We're an accredited apprenticeship training provider that's been established since 2017, and we deliver a range of level 3 and level 4 engineering and digital-led apprenticeship programs. So civil engineering, digital engineering, landscape technician engineering, to name a few. And these are all led by our specialist teachers with real industry experience, able to contextualize whilst teaching the underpinning knowledge within a classroom environment. So moving ahead, we are proud to have achieved a good Ofsted with outstanding features in October 2024. And so this reflects the quality of our provision, the learner support that we provide, and the strong employer partnerships which we continue to grow. Our delivery model, which will be explained in more depth later on, is designed to support both apprentices and employers. So we operate through a weekly hybrid approach across the 52 weeks of the year. So this allows apprentices to develop the underpinning technical knowledge, which I was talking about earlier on, and that's known as off the job, while still embedding their on the job within their workplaces and ensuring that their competencies are successfully noted so that they can progress within the next stage. As you will see as well, that there's a link that's provided for more information. So please do take a look. Okay, so what makes the Engineering Skills College so different? So, well, firstly, our programs are shaped directly by industry needs. So we specialise in engineering, digital technologies and design, ensuring that our curriculum reflects real employer requirements and current industry practice. What's going on the ground so that we can replicate that within the classroom. And this is really integral because it helps the apprentice to become occupationally competent, theoretically and practically. Also, our approach is built around strong industry partnerships, as you will see here from this slide. We work with a mixture of SMEs, as well as our major employers, such as Fujitsu, Skanska, Waits, Weeks, Balfour Beatty, ensuring apprentices gain practical and hands-on experience that directly supports their roles in the workplace. So as you may know, apprenticeships also provide a more practical hands-on support and approach for individuals who may not wish to follow that more traditional academic route, such as university. And what this does for us is it definitely helps to diversify our entry pool. So this really creates opportunities for a broader talent pool, which we're obviously very keen to still be exploring and doing. So I think moving ahead now, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague He-Man, who will provide you with a more in-depth overview of the actual standards and what to expect in terms of delivery over the course of the next 42 to 46 months. Thanks, He-Man.
Thank you, Sean. Right, so my name is He-Man Amin. I'm the mechanical engineering lead at the college. Just to give you a little background in regards to my career, I have been an engineering technician. I've been a workshop technician, and I've been teaching for the last 8 years. Prior to being a workshop technician, I've also been a 3D printing technician, and I've also worked in industry as a product designer. as well as co-founded 2 startups, one called Connected Neurons and another one called Tinker Studios. Right, so I'm just going to give you a course overview over the engineering maintenance technician of level 3. So as a whole, the engineering maintenance technician course will provide apprentices to become more competent in their ability to support engineers by designing, testing, installing, and maintaining machinery and mechanical components. By the completion of this apprenticeship, supports progression to roles such as the lead mechanical maintenance and technician, as well as be recognized in the institution of the mechanical engineers, as well as the institution of engineering and technology. Within the course, you will learn a few about the knowledges, skills, and behaviors. In general, there's a few aspects that I'm going to cover. One will be health and safety, another one will be on documentation, strategies, mechanical applications, fault finding, and repair. But this is just to name a few. There still will be a few more. Right, so within health and safety, the apprentices will learn about various regulations such as COSH, REDOR, Health and Safety at Work Act, manual handling, and so much more. Along with that, they'll also cover more health and safety aspects such as risk assessments and what happens in emergency situations. Another aspect will be in documentations, and these documentations can vary from engineering drawings to follow the British standards, as well as standard operating procedures so that the apprentices can follow mechanical procedures. There's a range of documentations and auditables that a technician would have to follow in order to proceed to become the technician in their duties. This can include like working instructions and drawings and designs and specifications and plant configurations. Along with this, there's another aspect in terms of strategies. And as a technician, you would have to strategize in terms of what's urgent and what's less urgent. And this can come in the form of prioritizing and planning their work and organizing their time management. And we'll help them understand how to approach that through a range of models, including Gantt charts and various others. Along with this, there's principles of sustainability, and within that, the technicians will learn about lean manufacturing techniques, which will then gives them time to give understanding of what best strategies they can approach for achieving their tasks. Along with this, there's also mechanical applications, and the mechanical applications will include pneumatics and hydraulics, as well as bench fitting techniques, and in terms of how to cut threads and how to put parts together. And then we'll also cover more mechanical principles such as stress and strain graphs, bending moments, heat transfers, and fluid dynamics. And most importantly, the bit that the technicians will probably enjoy the most will be the fault finding and repairing aspects, where they can then repair and fix a range of machines and hand tools. And this will go from removing parts to replacing parts to inspecting them to testing them to setting it up to cleaning it to lubricating and so much more. From doing this, they will find an understanding of common issues that will occur from machinery. And then through that, they will be able to start to understand the typical issues that normally occur from a range of machines, which can then be applied in the real world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heman. That was so interesting to hear. Thank you so much and giving us a walk through the course and what that looks like. And thank you, Shana, for giving us a summary of the Engineering Skills College and who we are. So thank you so much. I'm Jill Lewis. I'm the Apprenticeship Business Lead, and I'd like now to take you through the employer apprenticeship journey and what that would look like for your organisation. So firstly, I guess, how can we support you on your apprenticeship journey? So we can support with recruiting a new apprentice. We can do this through various ways, and we will help you with the recruitment to the assessment days, any support that you may need in regarding to that. Pastoral support of your apprentice whilst they're on the course. So from the onboarding right through to their EPA, we'll be there to help you, and all the pastoral care with regards to your apprentice. Just the end-to-end guidance as well with regards to paperwork. There's lots of red tape with regards to apprenticeships. We are there to help and guide you through that. The most common question we get from employers when we're looking at apprenticeships, they love what we do, they love engineering college. The big question is, where do we start? So I'll start with the question of what is an apprentice? An apprentice is your employee who works for you for 5 days a week, but one of those days will be an off-the-job day where they will then gain their professional qualifications. We, as Shana spoke about, we have a hybrid model. So some courses are in person and some courses are remote. The engineering maintenance technician will be in person 1 day a week during term time. We will give you full support from the end-to-end process with regards to that. Why consider an apprenticeship route? This strengthens your talent pool, gaining theoretical and practical skills for your workforce. A great investment in the growth of your company while shaping future talent that has the support of central government. Who can be an apprentice? It could be a new employee. As we've said, you take on an employee, you advertise that role, or it could be someone already in your company that is upskilling. They have to be 16 plus, but there's no upper age limit. Next slide, please, Candice. Okay, so identifying your company needs. So you've agreed with your company that you're going to look at the apprenticeship journey. Where would you start with that as well? Identifying your company needs. So what professional qualifications would you like someone to gain? This could be in the way of upskilling your current staff. So there may be members of your team who want to upskill, who are already doing the job and want to gain those professional qualifications while staying in their role. You would have to commit to a 1 day a week blended learning. We call this the off-the-job training. The employer would then create a digital account on the digital account service portal, and then we would link ourselves as the training provider with you as the employer, and we would then draw down funding to cover the cost of that. Or the alternative is you take on a brand new employee. So that's hiring an apprentice. So you would advertise a position like you would normally would, defining responsibilities and their progression route. You'd look at the company recruitment and onboarding protocol and follow this as per any other advertised role. You would have to commit, like we said as above, to the off-the-job training. That would be part of yours and their commitment as an apprentice. The employer, as above again, would create an account on the digital account system, and we would help support with any guidance you may need in regards to that. The employer apprenticeship journey, levy or non-levy, that is another question that you would need to consider. And it's a terminology that is used a lot around apprenticeships. And some may be not quite sure, what does that mean? What is a levy and what is a non-levy? So let me just talk you through that. So if you were to have an annual pay bill of £3 million or more, it would be a mandatory payment of 0.5% into the Growth and Skills Levy. This is an automated payment, and that goes into the levy fund, which will then be registered on your digital apprenticeship service account. This must be used within 24 months of that going into your digital account, and if you weren't to use that, unfortunately you would lose it. So it's crucial that you use that money for your training needs. The training provider then draws down the funding through that digital account, as I said earlier. A non-levy payer. What's a non-levy payer? So this is normally your small to medium size organizations, employees. SMEs is the terminology we use. You can take on an apprentice, or you may already have someone in your company, again, who's looking to upskill following the routes I shared just earlier. So if your person that you want to, to engage on the apprenticeship journey is under 22 years of age, the great news is, even as a non-levy payer, the government is going to cover the cost of that training 100%. And that goes right up to 24 if they have an EHCP, so an education support learning plan. They will still have the full cost paid for up to the age of 24. And also, if they're a care leaver, age 22 or above, or 24 respectively, then you can still gain 95% of the cost of the course paid for by central government, leaving you a remaining 5% to cover. But there are caveats with regards to that. And again, if this is something you're interested in, we can help support you with that. Payment is spread over the course of the course that they're doing, the apprenticeship course. And here is a little example. So if you were to take on or upskill someone in your organisation for the engineering maintenance technician course, the whole course of that is £27,000, which sounds quite scary when you look at that. However, 95% of that is is covered by the government, and then the 5% contribution will be 1,350 in total for the duration of the course. And this is then spread in monthly payments over 42 months, because that's the duration of the course the government has advised us to follow. And this would be £32 a month. So that covers your whole course fee for your apprentice. Thank you for listening to our webinar today, and we hope you gleaned some information on, the structure of the Engineering Skills College, what the course looks like, and the fee, the funding that is available to you to cover the course of this training. So here are our details. You've got Shana, you've got myself, and then you've got He-Man, and any of us can be contacted at that email address there. Please do get in touch if you've got any questions. Thank you so much. We'll hand over now to some questions that I know Candice has been collating for us. So we have the questions here. So let's have a look at these questions. I'm interested in becoming a maintenance technician. How do I apply? Shauna, would you like me to answer that one? Yeah. So how would you apply? First and foremost, you'd have to gain an apprenticeship. Like I say, you'd be an employee of an organisation. So you would need to apply to the organisation that is advertising, or if you're upskilling, then the company can get in touch with us directly and share your details, and then we'll start the onboarding process. But you would need to be employed by an organisation first and foremost to gain those qualifications. If you're an employee, get in touch, and like I say, we will support you with the end-to-end process. The next question, what type of roles does this apprenticeship actually suit? This may be a question for He-Man.
Yeah, so essentially anywhere that needs manufacturing technicians. So that can include areas such as architecture, design, construction, 3D design, and so much more. So schools, universities, and factories as such.
Thank you, He-Man. How does the off-the-job training work in practice without disrupting day-to-day operations? Shauna, would you like me to answer this one, or would you like to take it on?
No, I think you obviously covered, Jill, but please, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I covered that in the previous slides, what the off-the-job training would look like. It's mandatory that each apprentice has 6 hours a week of off-the-job training, and they have to record this. Here at the Engineering Skills College, we have an e-portfolio called Smart Assessor, which we use for our off-the-job recording. And there are many other ways an apprentice can gain their off-the-job experience. So as an employee, you must be committed to allowing your apprentice the 6 hours with us. It's a 1 day a week training program, and we just recommend that, you know, in the school holidays when they're don't have that structure of joining the classes, then they would then be you know, working on assignments, etc. And that would be worked with yourselves as an organisation, what best suits you, of how those 6 hours would be protected for your apprentice. You could just say maybe it's not the whole day, it could just be worked out throughout the week. So we work with organisations to make that work. So I think that's it for now. I'm not sure if we have any other questions in the chat that we need to cover.
No, I don't think there's any more, Jill.
I don't think there's any more. So I would just like to say a big thank you to everyone on the call today, and we hope you found this webinar informative.